Well, here we are for my second whiskey of the night. The first one was a Foxheart from 40 Creek, which was not really to my taste. It was Canadian whiskey infused with Caribbean rum, and the rum was too sweet, and it just wasn't for me. Nothing that a bit of Ardbeg 10 added to it wouldn't cure, and that cured it, and it was fine after I added some balance to that sweetness. Now, here I have something that I have not been able to get my hands on in a long time. I recall that the last time I had some of this was, well, I was still together with Cindy, and we went down to, was it Atlanta? No. It was Nashville, Tennessee. There was a get together, a YouTube get together called South Tube. It was one of the South Tubes, one of the later ones, not the big, fantastic South Tube from 2007. It was a later one. So we went to this South Tube gathering, and I managed to pick up a bottle of Blantons at a local liquor store. And so here it is, another bottle of Blantons. I guess it's about 10 years ago. Yeah, about 10 years ago. Because the next year we went to Myrtle Beach, and I think I picked up the Blantons when I was in Nashville. So, 10 years ago in Nashville, I picked up a bottle of Blantons, and now I'm picking up another bottle of Blantons. Or I picked up a bottle of Blantons at the BC Liquor Store Summer Spirits release. And what does it say on here? It says a bunch of stuff on here, but first what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these little tabs here. Oh, there we go. That came apart nice and easy. Beautiful. I like that. Just came right apart. I just had to pull it and zoom, away we go. I got rid of the fishnet tight here that was around it, and I'm going to just pop the little... Oh, that was such an easy pop for the cork. It didn't even make much noise. It was all wet. Well, let's just pour us a dram of this stuff and read what it says on this funky little bottle that looks like a hand grenade. Okay. Each bottle is recorded with the Master Registrar at Blanton's Distilling Company. This registered bottle number is 24. Distilled and bottled by Blanton Distilling Company, Frankfort, Kentucky. Okay. This bourbon whiskey dumped on 8/3/20, so that would be the 3rd of August 2020, from barrel number 325, stored in warehouse H on Rick number 1, individually selected, filtered, and bottled by hand at 93 proof, so 46.5% alcohol by volume. Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. We believe this is the finest bottle of whiskey ever produced, affording you extra flavor, bouquet, and character. Blanton's Distilling Company, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 750 mils, 46.5%. Okay. Well, that's quite a claim. But I know there are people who go gaga over this stuff. And there are those who, storekeepers who loathe these people, who all they want is Blantons, and they apparently throw hissy fits if they can't get it. Or I don't know what the whole thing is about that. Blanton's rarely makes it here. I picked it up at the Summer Spirits release of 2021 on the 10th of July. This is the Blantons. Blantons, here we are. Original. Blanton's Original, 750 mils. $109.99. So that works out to $5.50 for the goods and services tax plus 10 would be 11. $11 for the BC liquor tax plus 10 cents for the bottle deposit plus $109.99. Grand total out the door $126.59. That's considerable. That's quite a bit. And this is a bourbon without an age statement, but right away it has a beautiful, almost perfumey nose. And I'm not saying overly sweet or over the top or anything like that. It's just right. There's a richness here. There's some sweetness. There's some brown sugar. There's a hint of cherry. There's a touch of mint. These are typical bourbon notes. I'm getting something a bit waxy too, like paraffin. That could also be the candle that I have burning right over there. But this does smell nice. Vanilla. Caramel. Got a little bit of dill too. This is good. This has all those classic bourbon notes in the perfect balance. I'm even getting a bit of melon. Can you tell I'm liking this nose? I am. I haven't had bourbon Blantons in about a decade, so I remember one time I had this on my bar. My bar was not as extensive as it is now. There were just a few things on it. And Cindy found a recipe for bourbon chicken. It said bourbon on the label, so she used this to make bourbon chicken instead of going for some Evan Williams or some Wild Turkey 81 or something cheap. I remember this cost me, I think, $55 US back then in Nashville in 2011. I was kind of getting into whiskey a little bit, but not as much as I've been the last few years. I wasn't making videos of every whiskey that I had, but I would have some whiskey on my bar. As I go along, the vanilla and caramel notes are getting stronger. The melon notes too. It's beautifully balanced. I love the nose. Allow me to cleanse my palate just a little bit. Get rid of some of the taste of that Forty Creek Foxheart. Of course, mixed with a little bit of Ardbeg 10 to make it more balanced. Mm. Ah. Delicious classic bourbon. Classic. And I'm drinking it out of a Victoria Whiskey Festival 2015 glass. That is something special too. That is the first Victoria Whiskey Festival that I ever went to, the 2015 version. And back then, it was just right. There were quite some whiskey personalities there. People like John Hall and people like Richard Patterson. Yeah, you know. Mr. Alfie by a few years. Apparently he was there back in one of the first one of the first Victoria Whiskey Festivals, but my first one was 2015. As I said, I was only getting into whiskey back around that time, 2015. Yeah. That would have been January of 2015. That would have been almost 7 years ago. Wow, time goes fast. 7 years. I only have 7 years and a bit till I retire. Wow. I may even retire early. We'll see. But this smells and tastes very nice. What do I get on the palate? An exquisite blend of brown sugar, black cherries, dill, vanilla, caramel, and sweetness from the corn. I don't know what the mash bill is, and I don't care. It tastes good. It's got a lot of character. It is a beautiful bourbon. Now, black cherry. And there's a little bit of that waxiness, too. This is absolutely in the Goldilocks zone. It's just right. Oh, there's the cherry again. Cherry and dill and vanilla. Caramel. Fantastic. And there's a little bit of plasticine on the nose now that I've had some in my mouth. Not unpleasant. It's very good. It's a beautiful note. That plasticine towards the end reminds me of making figures out of plasticine when I was in kindergarten or elementary school, and we would have art projects. Not that I was a great artist or anything, but the nose of this reminds me of that plasticine and molding the stuff. It's well known that the olfactory sense, the sense of smell, is most closely related to memory. Your memory is triggered better by sense of smell than it is by vision or touch or sound. It's the olfactory. And there's a big burst of vanilla along with the melon and cherry notes. Oh, can you tell I like this? Wow. I am enjoying this thoroughly. And I can kind of see what all the hype is about when you talk about Blantons. It's a beauty. And that bourbon chicken that Cindy made was the best bourbon chicken I've probably ever had in my life. Just because this was in it. Quality ingredients leads to quality results. Ah. The next time she made bourbon chicken, I made sure we had some Evan Williams. Cheers.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food quick.
Yeah.